This is Tin Caps Baseball on 1380 The Fan and 100.9 FM.
Welcome back, everybody, to Tin Caps on Deck, the Tin Caps pregame show brought to you by Hoopie Insurance Services. I'm Mike Maz, and today we continue taking some time out to recognize some of the many people that help make your visit to Parkview Field as enjoyable as possible. And today we get to talk to the, hard to say this, first year I had Groundskeeper here with the Tin Caps in Parkview Field in Jake Sperry. And Jake, first and foremost, thanks for a little bit of time. You're number one as the number one man, but you've been involved in this operation for a long time prior to this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, been moved here from Michigan in 2014, and I was the assistant groundskeeper from 2014 literally until last year of 2025, of August of 2025. So I was transitioned into that head groundskeeper role in October, and going through the off season with the holiday lights and just getting this new 2026 season started off. It's been fun. It's been fun. Of course, a lot of challenges with the weather. We had a cold and wet spring, and now we have a very, very hot and humid summer. So just with anything that you know when you're outside and working the elements, weather dictates everything. And myself and my crew have been incredible this year, taking care of this facility. But it's been a fun first year in this new role.
What got you into groundskeeping in the first place?
Good question, Mike. I grew up playing baseball my entire life. When I was about 10, 11 years old, my cousin and I up in Michigan, we had our own little lawn care business. And I just always worked outside and working, again, since I've been 10. And I always liked to just see a direct result of your work, and groundskeeping and landscaping and lawn care kind of went in itself. And I liked to see, the work being portrayed once you're done. And so I took care of my high school baseball field, took care of my college baseball field, played all 4 years of college baseball. And I started to think, well, how can I incorporate both of these passions together? And I worked part-time for the Detroit Tigers for 3 years on their tarp crew, game day crew, and then did an internship for the Great Lakes Loons up in Midland, Michigan. That's where I kind of got the bug, is what we call it, is when you start to have that deep passion. You start to get to do everything. You're not just raking dirt, and you're not doing anything. I got to mow and start to learn about fertility and start to learn about the soil science of the actual industry. After I was doing that in college, and once I graduated college in 2013, I worked for the Baltimore Orioles for one summer. Learned a lot there, and so I wanted to do more, wanted to get more involved and kind of just expand my knowledge. And then after that, I was the spring of 2014 is when I started here, and my wife, at the time, my girlfriend, now my wife, moved down from Michigan as well, and we've never left, and we love Fort Wayne.
I have to ask, working with the Tigers, what was the experience like at Comerica Park?
It was, me, myself, growing up a Tiger fan since I was a little kid, and just going to the old Tiger Stadium at Michigan and Trumbull, and then when they moved to, Comerica there in 2000, it was like, it was almost like walking on just sacred land, and just to get to walk on there on the field and to take care of it and to see what all goes involved. And you're seeing major league players, you're seeing Justin Verlander and Brandon Inge, Miguel Cabrera, and Maglio Ordonez are sitting right next to you, and Jim Leland, Hall of Famer Jim Leland, and you're thinking to yourself, well, these are, you think these are people that are bigger than life, and I'm just an 18, 19-year-old kid. And it was really cool. It was real eye-opening, and it was definitely a stepping stone to see if I wanted to do, be in the sports turf industry, and that was the kickstart. So
wow. You mentioned you came down here in 2014, and you got to work under Keith Winter.
Yeah.
Did you meet Keith when both of you were at Great Lakes? Because I know he was at Great Lakes prior to coming here as well.
Yes, he was. I believe his last year in Great Lakes was 2010. So we did not cross paths. I was there in 12, and we didn't cross paths. He did come back one time for a weekend to grab a couple of tools that he left behind there at one point, but never actually introduced myself and such. But I knew of him within the industry because he has so many contacts, and he's such a good guy. He's a good people person, and he can, as you well may know, he can talk, and so I knew of him. But when I interviewed with him, in October of 2013, and I definitely was drawn to his personality and just the way that he carried himself, and just him just describing his work ethic, and during the interview seeing the field in the background I was excited to have the potential to work here. So
You had the chance to work with him and under him. What did you learn from him that has helped you even today?
I learned a lot from him, both on and off the field. He was a mentor. He discipled me through my faith, and really just a conduit to just having that my relationship with our Lord and Savior. And he also just enhanced my my work ethic. And I mean, I had a pretty good idea I had a good work ethic, but he just, the guy now, I think he's 66 years old, but at the time, he was 50, 57, 58. So he was so active, and someone who I looked up to and still look up to today. But he's very intense. He's very competitive, and either competitive from a sports standpoint, but also taking as competitive nature of taking care of the baseball field. It's okay, how can we make this better? How can we adapt? How can we just be better as people, as fathers, as husbands, as co-workers, so on and so forth. So he taught me a lot, from a fertility standpoint, from a clay and moisture management standpoint, and when you're with someone for 12 to 13 hours a day for 11 years, you have that relationship, and you also know, you learn a lot from the person. So
You finally, Keith retires, and you get to take over.
Yeah.
What was your first day as the head groundskeeper like?
It was a little bit different, since it was October 1st was my first official day as the head groundskeeper, and at that time we were getting ready for the holiday lights on the field. So in terms of the duties and or tasks performed going through the off season, none of that was really different, just because I've done it for 11 years, but differently from holiday light setup. But it was very exciting for I actually get to have an office, and not just have a little camping chair to sit in. So I think it was more of a mental transition more than a physical and working transition. That really wasn't the difficult part, but it was mostly just kind of mentally, okay, this is a different mindset. You're managing 5-6 guys underneath you, and how do you also have teach them, encourage them, mentor them as well. So I think that part was the more difference part of the role. But I tell you, Mike, it was very, very exciting through all the years of working hard to get to this spot, and it was just very, very encouraging, just to see, okay, how can we do this better? How can we add different things in there to make it my own as well? Because there's a sense of ownership from practices and such. So I was excited to do some of my own stuff too. So it was good.
We're doing this interview from the warning track in left center field here at Parkview Field. The facility looks phenomenal. So kudos to you and your staff.
Thank you
for taking the baton, if you will, and keeping the good thing going. Gosh, I'd like to talk some more, but afraid we're running out of a little bit of time. Thank you so much for giving us some of your time. And again, congratulations on being the man responsible for keeping this beautiful facility, which I have called the Taj Mahal of minor league baseball since it opened up in 2009. It's gorgeous, as Mike Nutter has said on many occasions when we get to chat on Sundays. This place is 18 years old, and he says you wouldn't know how many people comment, it looks brand new.
Yeah.
And it's not just the stands, it's the playing surface. So kudos to you and your staff.
Thank you.
Thanks for giving me some time, and we definitely will talk again.
Yes.
Sooner rather than later, but congratulations and a job well done.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
That's the head groundskeeper here with the Tin Caps in Parkview Field, Jake Sperry. We'll take a break and come back with more in a moment on the Tin Caps Radio Network.
Podcasts by Federated Media.